Today's video is sponsored by Raycon. Co-founded by Ray J, Raycon have been shaking up the electronics industry recently by designing wireless earbuds that start at about half the price of other premium products on the market and sound just as amazing as any other top audio brands you know. They've become the obsession of celebrities like Mike Tyson and the one and only Snoop Dogg himself, and it's easy to see why. Raycon earbuds give you 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design for a comfortable, noise-isolating fit, which makes them perfect for both work and play. They come in a range of fun colours and patterns, with a variety of fit options to choose from, and best of all, no dangling wires or stems getting in the way of things. With the new year having finally arrived, many of us are setting ourselves goals and taking up new hobbies, and whatever it is you're up to this 2021, a pair of Raycon earbuds would certainly come in handy. Trying to get more fit? With no wires, a long battery life, and extra bass to keep you immersed, Raycon earbuds help you push yourself that little bit further. Planning to listen to more audiobooks? Their premium sound quality and noise-isolating fit help bring whatever story you're listening to life. Personally, I've resolved to be a little more artistic this year, so I've kind of gotten into drawing illustrations. And let me tell you, there's nothing better than zoning out and getting into that flow state whenever I'm sketching, and listening to my favourite music through a pair of Raycons really helps me get to that place. I can just shut the real world out and let my creativity take the lead. Right now, Raycon have a spine-chilling discount available for all of my viewers. Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/masquerade to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. With Raycon's 45-day free return policy, you've really got nothing to lose. So again, that's buyraycon.com/masquerade or simply click the link in the description box below and be a part of the next wave of premium wireless audio. Reddit, the front page of the internet. A place where users can find communities of like-minded people and share information about their hobbies, interests, and their own lives. Occasionally, however, they share just a little too much. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a particular type of post, namely Reddit confessions. Posts where users intentionally reveal a dark secret. I've picked a wide range to cover here. Some grim, some unsettling, some downright disturbing, but they're all morbidly intriguing in their own right. If this episode doesn't feature a post that you'd expect to see on a top 4 Reddit confessions video, it might be because I've already covered it in the past, or because I'm saving it for a future upload. So, with all that out of the way, it's time to switch off the lights, snuggle up, and prepare yourselves as we dive into the dark, digital waters of Reddit confession posts. Let's kick things off with a post made in r/Canada News, a subreddit for, you guessed it, news about Canada. Every day, its followers get into lively, yet polite discussions, and for all intents and purposes, there's nothing strange about the subreddit itself. Back on May 2nd, 2017, however, a post was made on the sub that took its small community by surprise, and sent shockwaves across the rest of the site. It was made by user RedAsBlue101, and the title instantly grabbed everyone's attention. Wanted for Kitchener murder. My side. Some backstory. Melinda Vasilija was a 22-year-old woman who'd been murdered in Kitchener only 3 days prior to this post being made. Authorities were called to her Country Hill Drive apartment at 3 AM on April 28th, only to find her lifeless body on the floor. She'd been stabbed multiple times. The man responsible, her ex-boyfriend, Aga Hassan, was still on the run, his whereabouts unknown. It was the big story of the day. Nobody suspected that the perp himself would make a Reddit post going over the details of what happened in the run-up to that fateful incident, how it all went down, and what his plans now were. But that's exactly what he did. Here's what he had to say in his post. I understand the early judgments made by society. Distancing myself makes it seem like I'm trying to escape a crime. I'm not. I'm only trying to give myself some space and fully take in what happened before I turn myself in. The fact is, no one's more destroyed than I am. She was more than a girlfriend, a soon-to-be fiancé. She was my everything. What happened that night was nothing but tragic. Looking back, we've been in a relationship for a year and 3 months. This was the first serious long-term relationship for both of us, so everything we did was a new experience. We travelled the world, our families met, had fights and made up, talked seriously about marriage and kids, the whole deal. I would never physically hurt her in any way. She would occasionally hit or slap me when I said something stupid, but I'd laugh it off. She met all my friends and family. Wherever I went, she was there. She would come to my house from Kitchener every week and would stay for 3 or 4 days. We were incredibly used to each other. The last month of our relationship, I started asking her to give me some space so I could work on my job. She started coming less and less like I asked. During March, her friend Anna got pregnant. Melinda and Anna then moved in together because Anna has a big family and wanted privacy in case she keeps the baby. I'd never met any of Melinda's friends at this stage, 1 year and 2 months in. She told me all of her friends only use her. That part was incredibly clear to me. They would only contact her if they needed their hair done or had boyfriend problems. That included Anna. 1 year, 3 months in, April, Melinda and I got into an argument via text, and our relationship ended. I went to her apartment that day to try and talk. Upon arrival, I was confronted by Anna's brother and her boyfriend. An altercation took place, and the authorities were involved. At this stage, I knew if we were to patch things up, it would be rough. We didn't see each other for a few weeks. Later on in April, Melinda and I started texting each other again. We agreed to see each other and talk on April 29th. She was originally supposed to drive to my house, but felt sick, so I told her I'd come to hers, and she agreed. Upon arrival, it was just Melinda. She said Anna went to drop Christina, Melinda's sister, off somewhere. She invited me to her room right away. We'd never spent so much time away from each other. We just cuddled and talked about everything. A while later, Anna came back with another friend. She asked Melinda if everything was okay, and Melinda said yes. Anna will attest to this if she's honest. We continued to talk, and finally decided it was worth a try one more time. However, Melinda didn't want anyone to know, especially her family. She said after the police were involved, and a physical altercation with Anna's brother and boyfriend, things wouldn't be right if they knew right away. I agreed we'd keep it on the down low until things cooled down. We continued to talk. Anna and her other friend left the house to grab food. We both let everything out, and our relationship was back on track. While I was getting ready to leave, she asked me if I had done anything with any other girls while we were on our break. I told her we needed to be honest, and said yes, and told her about it. She started freaking out, wouldn't say a word, and just kept slapping me with tears in her eyes. Slaps turned into hits. I told her I was sorry, but if she didn't stop, I'd do something back. She didn't stop. I then stupidly pushed her, harder than I expected. She fell against the sink. This was the first time I ever did anything physically towards her. I told her I was sorry. She said, "Leave. Leave now." I began saying sorry even more and asked if I could get a hug. She was still crying. I go up to her and try and give her a hug, and almost out of nowhere, she grabs a knife by the sink. Initially, I thought she was just going to hold it to try and tell me to leave. She doesn't. She comes at me in full force, aiming towards my face. I tell her to stop. She doesn't. I tried grabbing the blade, but ended up cutting my hands. After a few cuts, I lost it. I freaked out. I was scared and in a state of shock. Never in 100 years did I ever think she'd use a knife against me. Out of shock and fear, I grabbed one. I hit her with it, almost blindly, a few times. I didn't know what happened. I was confused, shocked, and scared. I had no intentions of that happening. When I left, I honestly thought she'd just passed out. Then I looked at the blood and started freaking out and just ran. I didn't know for sure she had died until the next day. I honestly had no intentions of ever doing that to her. I was protecting myself. She was with me the most. We were each other's best friends. She would tell me everything, her deepest secrets that not even her friends and family knew. The amount of regret and sadness I have is beyond words. Everyone else is just reading or talking about it. I lived it. I was there. I did it. Every waking second, I relived that moment. Although it was out of shock and protection, I should have just accepted getting hit. Maybe I would have lived. Maybe not. Anything is better than living with this. I'm reading the news, and they're claiming it was targeted. Why would I buy her roses that night if I was planning on killing her? I didn't even go home that night. I always have a passport in my car, and decided to just get away for a few days before turning myself in or ending it all. If any of it was planned, I would have taken my stuff. I would have taken cash. I'm in the United States with $200, no clean clothes, nothing. I didn't intend on any of it. It was out of fear and protecting myself, alongside shock. I'm sorry to everyone, especially Melinda's family. I know it will not be accepted, but no, I didn't mean anything bad to happen that night when I went there. Rest in peace, my beautiful. I hope you forgive me in the afterlife. Throughout the post, RedIsBlue101 did his best to paint himself as a victim, explaining away his actions that night, and not so subtly placing the blame on Melinda for attacking him. This was all just a huge accident. Yeah, it always is, buddy. Reddit's reaction to the post was interesting as always. Some users believed his version of events, told him to keep calm and gave him advice, said he should go back to Canada and present his defensive marks. Others weren't falling for the melodrama, however, and pointed out information he'd neglected to mention in his post, like how Melinda actually had a restraining order against him when he went to her apartment that night. They also questioned why he hadn't called for help and ran away. Of course, there were also plenty of skeptics who thought this was all a hoax, and that the post had been made by someone pretending to be the real Aga Hassan. Just another loser desperate for karma points. Well, a little over a month later, the truth was revealed. On July 11th, RedIsBlue101, aka Aga Hassan, was arrested in San Antonio, Texas. His post had been legit after all, and, like he said, he was hiding out in the USA. He had fled Canada the same day as the slaying, and had been on the run for the past 2.5 months. It didn't appear like he had any plans of turning himself in though, since the authorities happened to find him themselves during a routine traffic stop. Hassan was taken back to Canada to stand trial for second-degree murder. Although he had probably posted his Reddit confession to create a so-called seeing red defense, as in, she came at me and I saw red, it actually ended up working against him in the end, as it's being used as evidence to help prosecutors convict him. They assert that Melinda was scared of Hassan, and that this was a case of, if I can't have you, nobody can. As it stands, his trial has been delayed numerous times due to the global situation right now, so the full truth is yet to be determined. When that all changes, I'll let you guys know. Still, I'm sure most people can see through this guy's charade, and I think it's safe to say that Aga Hassan's freedom is going to go the way of his Reddit account. Suspended. Now, there's probably no better subreddit to visit for this episode than r/confession, a corner of Reddit where you can find people admitting to their darkest and most shameful secrets, safe in the knowledge that they're using a throwaway account so nobody will ever know their true identity. And with 2.3 million members, it's safe to say there are a lot of admissions to read through. Folks go there to get all manner of things off their chests, from pushing little Timmy off the swing set back in primary school, to having an affair with the neighbor's wife, to people losing their life savings on a game of cards, to real horrific posts, like the infamous Parasite Man, a guy who got his kicks by intentionally infecting as many people as he could, including himself, with various parasites. He confessed to doing things like dropping his tapeworm eggs, or as he called them, his children, onto food in buffets, or into people's drinks when they weren't looking, thereby giving them parasites. Yeah, like I said, horrific. Sometimes the OP feels guilty about what they're confessing to. Sometimes they don't, and just want to tell random strangers on the internet a story they can't tell anyone in their real lives. There are, after all, things you can't talk about with those closest to you, and we all have our little secrets. Just over a year ago, however, someone posted one of their big secrets, and with a title like this, you know we're in for a dark read. The post was made by user Mesk997, and it began, fittingly, with a backstory. Mesk997 wrote about how in the past, they'd set up a store on the deep web, selling certain illicit substances, let's put it like that. They figured this would be easy money, a get-rich-quick scheme that didn't involve going into the real world and dealing with risky clients in empty parking lots. Not exactly a righteous road to walk down in life, of course, but stories from moral people generally don't make for interesting reads on r/confession. After they had successfully launched their small store, Mesk said that he met a new contact who could get him anything he wanted. New products opened his store up to a whole bunch of new clients. One of these new products was fentanyl, which we'll call F, something that looks almost identical to another, much weaker product called methamphetamine, which we'll call M. M was very popular, the much stronger F less so. Then he got to his confession. Long story short, my Excel messed up, or I messed up, and about 7 people's M orders were filled in as F orders. They all went out. I didn't notice and kept doing my thing for a few days. After about 5 days, someone contacted me and told me their friend had died from my M. I immediately called Bull and went to check my order log and scale up how much M I had left. Well, I had about 11 grams more than I should have. I still don't know how it could have happened. I went to check my order log on the market to see if anyone had finalized on their purchase, and a couple of them were, but none from a specific day, including the person that messaged me. No one that purchased them that day had finalized their orders. The market I was on also had a feature to see the user's last activity, and none of them had logged in at least 3 days. It was at that point that Mesk997 knew what he had done. His mistake had cost the lives of at least 5 people. I sold the rest of my stuff, converted my Bitcoin to cash, and moved away. Didn't speak to anyone for weeks. Found a job in a restaurant, living in a city I always wanted to. I haven't had anything to do with that life since then. I still think about them, every night. I saved their names and Googled them a few days later. I was able to find info on 4 customers that definitely died. One customer shared it with a friend. They both died. I don't know why I'm even posting this. Mainly because I have no one to tell, and even if I did, I don't think I could. The user ended the post by saying that their mistake had made them withdraw from society and become reclusive. People I used to know have distanced themselves immensely, and I know it's because I'm a shell of my former self. Maybe making this post will help me feel better. This whole incident clearly had a huge effect on Mesk. Whether you feel sorry for him or any of his customers is up to you, but his open confession certainly gets you thinking. Like I said, we all have our secrets, some of us darker ones than others, and if there's one thing this entire subreddit will have you wondering, it's this. What secrets could my nearest and dearest be hiding from me? And you thought Burger King foot lettuce was bad. If you're eating, you might want to put the video on pause for a while and finish up. There are several famous things that have happened within the Reddit community over the course of the site's existence. Some of them creepy, like Jimmy C. Some of them funny, like Dumb Kevin. Some of them too disgusting to go into detail about. Jolly Rancher story, I'm looking at you. But one that's arguably all 3 of those things, and that still gets shared around a lot today, is the infamous foot tacos. Here's the story. On June 7th, 2018, a user called Incredibly Shiny Shard, never thought I'd say that on this channel, started an AMA thread on the IMA subreddit. Basically, an AMA, or Ask Me Anything thread, is where celebrities, or experts, or just interesting people make a post, telling you who they are and why you should care, provide proof of their identity, and then open up the floor to questions. So, what was this guy's claim to fame? Hi all. I am a man who ate a portion of his own amputated leg. Ask me anything. Oh boy. So, the quick and dirty. About 2 years ago, I was hit on my motorcycle. They salvaged my foot, but I'd never be able to walk on it. I elected to have it amputated. I asked the doctors to keep it. I signed some papers. I got it back, and with the help of some friends, cooked a portion of the tibialis anterior. Proof. If you click the Foot Tacos link, it takes you to a page filled with a series of photos, showing you his leg and foot after the accident, X-rays showing the damage, the severed leg that he took home with him, and, either horribly or epically depending on your outlook, the user and 10 of his friends cooking the chopped up foot with some lime, onions and peppers, and getting ready to take a trip to Flavortown. Understandably, I can't show some of the pictures here, and I don't recommend searching them out for yourself if you're squeamish. But, as you can see in this image, they prepared themselves a mini feast. How you go about convincing your friends and loved ones to come over and literally eat your foot is beyond me, but each to their own, I suppose. according to Incredibly Shiny. I taste like buffalo, but chewier, super beefy and little fat. Needless to say, the good people of Reddit had some questions to ask, and when asked to rate the taste of his own foot, Shiny gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Apparently, human feet taste better than hot dogs and regular burgers. Who knew? Anyway, I know this one was a little different to what I usually cover, but it's not the type of thing that most people would confess to online, and I thought you guys might get a kick out of it. Hopefully I didn't put my foot in my mouth. Sorry, had to. Hey guys, Ellisa here, and thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It really makes you start wondering what dark secrets everyone's harboring. Who knows, maybe you have a few creepy ones of your own. Anyway, before this video ends, I'd like to say a huge congratulations to the winners of my banner contest over on Discord. If you haven't already joined my Discord, you can find a link to it down in the bio. We hold a lot of contests, art-related, writing-related, so if that's your kind of jam, or you just want to hang out and talk about horror, come along and join the fun. Anyway, on to the winners. Bronze Medal Award goes to Contagionics. We've got a nice kanji hanya, a nice smoke effect going on, so really great work. Getting the silver medal is the one and only Robin Mickelson, aka the guy who makes all of the thumbnails for my videos. This was his Lazy Wick entry, kind of John Wick inspired piece, and yeah, he knocked it out the park like always, great work. And taking home the gold is Doodles the Doodler. Congratulations Doodles. This is her peeking lazy picture, and it really works well at the top of the Discord. Looks like he's peeking over the background. Awesome stuff, and congratulations. There's links to all of their social media pages down in the description, so be sure to check them out and enjoy the rest of their artwork that they've created. A huge thank you to all of my supporters here on YouTube and over on Patreon, especially my biggest supporters. Crawford K McDonald, Monica Mendoza, Tom King, Alex Greensall, Philip Westra, Procupidine Natter, Gina Valera, Charlie Lackey, AnimeWimp, Sarah Ramirez, Sloane Crawford, Nadine, Connor Louthan, Decaying Girl, Infamous-senpapi, Azrael Warakai, Lord 210, TheOnlyDorita, Ricky Cohen Jr., Hungry and Hammered, Leonardo Martinez, The Lecky, Expand On, Phantom Knight, and Amanda Hanson. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, it really helps the channel out. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to smash that like button or I'll smash you. Keep an eye out for the compilation video I'm about to drop. Stay spooky, and remember, the best things happen in the dark.